Hello, welcome back to another episode of Stuff on Steam, and today I am going to be playing Project Root. This is a indie sci-fi top-down shooter style kind of game from a developer called OPQAM. I don't know if that's supposed to be a word, but it's not a word. It's not by any stretch of the imagination a word, but that's who they're called. And that should be a sort of premonition of what this game is like in general. We'll quickly go, first of all, into options. And so you can see, I can just tell you a bit about these. What I do need to do is turn the music volume down a bit because it's just slightly annoying anyway. You've got main volume, music volume, sound effects volume. They work. Not sure you'd want them to. The music is dull at best. Absolutely dull. Video options. You could go full screen. See, I'm in full screen. So this is actually my second time recording this. For the first time, the game it broke the recording software as far as I can tell. And it said I was in windowed mode when I quite clearly wasn't. Anyway, you can set that to full screen or windowed mode. You can change your resolution. You can also set anti-aliasing and quality levels. These two options are pointless. Absolutely pointless. I've tried in high and low quality. I've tried in no anti-aliasing, some all anti-aliasing, any combination. I cannot find any difference graphically in the game or performance-wise. It makes no difference. It's like they're just options that do nothing. The game looks the same and it performs the same no matter how you have these set. Absolutely pointless. Let me get my mouse pointer off screen because that can actually be quite annoying in the game. It does actually mess up the menus as well. That's a problem I have had with the menus. I'll show you right here. If you have that there, if you accidentally leave it there. Oh no, it's working for a change. It wasn't working when I tried it earlier. Every time I pressed up, it just pinged it back to where the mouse pointer was. So that at least is working now. In fact, the game might be working overall better than it was before. Although that's not saying much, honestly. We'll play. I've spent several hours playing this game already. And I am on level 1. That's the tutorial. The tutorial is the most patronising and unhelpful thing ever. It treats you like a 3-year-old and yet still manages to fail to explain most of the important things. It tells you how to move your ship and tells you how to shoot, but it tells you can get power-ups and how to use them. It doesn't tell you what the power-ups are. It doesn't tell you what they do. It doesn't tell you anything. The game itself, it doesn't tell you much about the story or anything else. We'll play now. So you see, best score not completed on easy, the first level. Not because this game is ridiculously hard in the traditional sense. It's ridiculously hard in the sense that it's awful. As the first man needed fire, the modern man craves for all kinds of energy sources, most of them under the Prometheus Corporation's control. But its leader, Demetrio Watts, holds ambitions far beyond that. Lance Rockport lived it first-hand in his childhood when his neighbourhood far plains was swept away by Prometheus and their merciless expansion plans. Time passed, and Lance joined the rebel group Arcturus in search of the freedom he had lost in his childhood. Today, his adventure begins. Freedom is now in his hands. Now, this developer that makes this game is obviously somebody who doesn't know what full capital letters are for. All of these sentences that don't start with capital letters that should. And that's not where it ends. In the general text of this game, it's kind of terrible and full of problems. Here we are, the Far Plains Cannon. Sync, are you there? Full stops are another thing that this developer doesn't understand the use of. I hear you loud and clear. How do you feel, Lance? After this, there is no way back. I mean, this is text level, or like, you know, Twitter level of English use in a professional product, which is quite abominable, really. I've spent years training for this moment. I know what's at stake. I am ready. And that's it. That's all the story you're going to get out of the game, apparently. If you want the story, the actual story, Lance, you're close to the target. Your refinery is to the north of your current location. Understood. Yeah, if you want some actual story, you kind of have to actually go and look on the store page, because that's the only place it's explained. Anyway, oh, I got hit already. Yep, we'll get that power up. Not sure what that power up does. I think it's a shield. I think. Couldn't tell you for sure. The game doesn't tell me, and it's not actually immediately obvious. Anyway, you can move around with the left stick. You can turn around with the right stick. You always shoot forwards. Your ship is right at the bottom of the screen, meaning things can fly in from behind, shoot in from behind, and you will get hit because you have no idea they're there. And quite frequently, well, I got lucky there. Quite frequently it happens because while obviously I can't see at the bottom of the screen, the enemies behind me can surely see me. So yeah, you have two types of weapons. As you can see, this is a ground attack weapon. Shoots tanks and turrets on the ground. As far as I'm aware, that's the only types of enemies there are on the ground. You also have this machine gun type thing, which sounds awful. This shoots air targets only. Again, there's a couple of types of little flyer things. Again, not much variety. They die exceptionally easily, while the stuff on the ground is bullet spongy to the extreme. There are buildings. Some of them you can destroy. Some of them you can't. What you can and can't destroy appears to have very little consistency, and also not a lot to do with any primary or secondary objectives. You get a bunch of stuff like this that is just here. You can't destroy it. You can destroy these little bits here. They don't do anything, but you can destroy them. And then the whole massive buildings you can't. But then you come across other things like that, which you can destroy for no good reason, as I can tell. The controls itself for this game, they're a little bit floaty. You might think, well, that's okay, you know, this is a sort of a vertical takeoff jet plane. I'm not sure why it's a plane like this. You certainly can't change movement modes. There's no way to go into a sort of standard jet plane to move faster. This is it. This is as fast as you go, and it's slow. And the map is big. And here is one of the only useful pickups in the game. I should probably address the pickups, as I've mentioned once already. As far as I can tell, there are 7 types of pickups. There's a shield, that I think is a shield anyway. There's this one, which shoots missiles, a whole group of homing missiles at ground and air. When I've got a few things to make it worth shooting at, I will shoot. I'm not going to do it in the meantime because, well, I'll explain that in a second. There is a repair icon, which is so infrequent. It's like hunting down rare, like farming rares in an MMO. You just don't get the damn things. You get an extra life pickup, which is even more infrequent than that. Okay, here we go, look. That's it, right? That's taken care of all of these, and sadly it also wasted a load of missiles on the air enemies, which are super easy to kill. Now this thing here, I'll come back to in a second because I'm not with pickups. There is 2 pickups which are completely pointless. There's one that apparently this counts as enemies. Wow. Yeah, one that shoots a spread of rockets in the air, one that shoots a laser in the air. Both of them only hit air targets. And since the air targets, there's not a lot of them, they're pretty dumb, very easy to kill, and they tend to just wander into your field of fire. If you, as you're attacking things on the ground, you know, just hold your finger on the machine gun like this. Oh, pick up. You'll kill pretty much everything in the air anyway. Oh, missiles from nowhere. As you see, as I'm just trying to target in on this, they just all died anyway. This is another one. This is another useless pickup. The point of this is, there you go, it destroys all the incoming fire on the screen. Sadly, the problem with it is it has a delay. So when you're caught in a tight moment, you're like, oh crap, I'm about to take 50 rockets in the face. I'll hit this pickup and take them out. That's no good, because by the time it goes off, they've already hit you. You actually have to use it well ahead of the point where you're going to, where you know you're going to need to use it. So yeah, get that. These missile turrets, this is another thing, a very inconsistent thing. Some of these home, some of them don't. Which are which? Your guess is as good as mine. The game does not say. There is no difference as far as I can tell. The missile turrets all look the same. The missiles all look the same. They all fire in the same way. It's just that sometimes some of them will curl round at the back of the screen and then come in and hit you in the arse, and there'll be nothing, pretty much nothing you can do about it. You'll die in this game. This is over and over because of things that you can't do a whole lot about. Now, all these missile turrets here appear to be the non-homing variety, or at least they don't home very well. Some of them will chase you to the ends of the frickin' earth. Honestly. Now this is another one of these things. This, and like that, those buildings I destroyed before, these are destructible. Here. This isn't. This is destructible though. Eventually. We can eventually take it out. Here come in the ships. So we just hold our finger on fire and not to worry about them too much, because they're pathetic and don't actually offer any challenge whatsoever. Whereas the missile turrets are just absolutely lethal. Come on, we'll just... Fortunately, this thing takes stuff out reasonably quickly. Yeah, so there we go. We've destroyed all those. For no reason. That did nothing. It's not an objective. It's not part of the mission. You get a few points for it, and that's it. So why you can destroy some things randomly and other things not? Again, no clue. Another thing about the homing missiles, and the non-homing ones as well. You can, supposedly, shoot them down. And occasionally you will be able to do just that. How that actually functions is fairly random. As to see, out of those I managed to hit one. They all went through my stream of fire. Again, managed to get one. And I've completed my objective. Which by doing nothing. It's changed the objective. But apparently I've completed it. I haven't completed it. You can try and read that stuff in the bottom corner if you want. I've given up trying. Generally, it's gone there and gone so quickly, and it's not very distinct. And quite honestly, you just die trying to read that. But yeah, shooting down these missiles is hit and miss at best. If you're lucky, you might get half of them. How the game decides which ones you hit and which not, I haven't got a clue, because I'm pretty sure they fly right through my bullets half the time. So, I mean, the game obviously has some sort of logic it applies, you'd assume. Maybe not. Maybe it's just completely random and arbitrary. But so much of this game is. I did just touch on the subject of objective there, and I'm going to talk about objectives for a bit now, actually. I completed a primary objective, except I didn't. My primary objective was to destroy the refinery. I think it's a refinery this time. Oh yeah, here's one of these pointless, absolutely useless things. There you go, look. Whoa. There. Does nothing to ground. It only shoots air. But the air just dies. The air's not a threat at all. Still. Yeah, I apparently completed an objective. What I actually did was get an update on the objective, but no, that wasn't a complete. But that's a minor issue compared to the whole issue of secondary objectives. They do exist, but not in the way that you would expect or indeed hope for. Now, generally, in games like as this, there's an extra life that might keep me alive a little bit longer. In games like this, you generally have your primary objective, which might be destroy X. And then you might come across, as you get to your objective, you might come across a secondary objective of while destroying X, destroy Y for bonus points, an extra something to make the objective easier, whatever. Not so in this game. Secondary objectives are completely unrelated to the primary objective whatsoever. They're not on the path for the most part. They're just off somewhere randomly. They are ridiculously hard. You most likely will die doing it. You get no reward. They don't further the mission. They don't further the story. They don't further anything apart from being there. And a lot of them, let's say, you won't even discover unless you happen to randomly wander into the area that these secondary objectives are in. And if you're lucky, you won't, because... oh, jeez. If you're lucky, you won't ever wander into those areas, and won't have to deal with said secondary objectives, because they are meaningless and needlessly difficult. There is no reason to go there, and that's quite frankly not something about secondary objectives, which is a good thing. Also, you just notice I picked up another repair icon. Look at my thing at the top. Bear in mind I just died, so this is a fresh ship. It's not full. It wasn't full to begin with. The health bar doesn't appear to work properly. It's never full. You start with a fresh ship with a good chunk of your health bar missing. Getting repair upgrades won't actually fill it to the top either. They will never fill it beyond your initial point. So either the health bar itself does not work, or we're starting each fresh life and fresh game with an already damaged ship, which, considering this is the first mission and the ship hasn't seen combat, seems slightly dubious. So I'm thinking that it just doesn't work. Cool. Underneath the health bar at the top, you can see the blue bar, which is, well, some sort of level up bar, apparently. Except that I don't see what it does. It's persistent. It's not just for this mission. It's actually taken me several hours of failing on this first level to go up from level 0 to level 1. But it didn't do anything. There's unlockables. You might have seen it at the beginning. There's an unlockables, like an upgrade screen. That's not for that. You don't get points to spend through leveling up through this bar. That's something completely different, which I've never managed to find out what it is, and so have no idea how you use those upgrade points. I have no clue. I also have no clue what this bar here does. As far as I can tell, nothing. It's an arbitrary level up bar with no real purpose. And also, it takes a long time to fill it up. So, I mean, just why is it there? It's another thing about this game which is completely random. I don't know if you've been listening as I've been going. The music in this game is pretty diabolical. It's lackluster and boring in the extreme. The sound effects are not a lot better. The explosions are right, but the sound of the weapons is pretty bad. I mean, maybe there's a different sound effect if you upgrade the weapons. It sounds better then, but I'm not counting on it. The graphics themselves in this game they're okay. They're not bad, they're not brilliant, but they're not bad. I mean, there's a reasonable amount of detail in the environments and in the models. Considering, look at that though. Considering I'm running 8 times anti-alias in here on the highest graphical setting, and you can see the jaggies on this bridge as it turns around. Yeah, like I said, anti-aliasing doesn't actually appear to do anything in this game. The option is there for the fun of it. I guess they just felt like they should have that bar there, but never got round to actually doing anything with it, because that is pretty nasty. Pretty nasty indeed. And I'm hoping you're watching this video in 1080p so you can see the full detail of that jaggy anti-alias alias mess there. And that frequently pops up throughout the game. So while the graphics are reasonably detailed, there's a lot of graphical crap in there which just is awful. See if we can actually make it onto the objective, our new objective, which is to destroy the power for the old to get to the old objective. Oh, just die, you bullet spongy tank. So yeah, we can destroy a load more stuff here. Don't see why. It gave me a whole, what, 1,000 points, less than that, 800 points I think that was. Which seems completely pointless considering the ships give me more than that. Oh, I did get an upgrade from it though, a power up from it though, and one of the useful ones. So we can start spamming it. You might as well spam it, because when you die you lose it all anyway. And then we run into this. This, bear in mind, is not the part of the objective. It's not even part of the secondary objective. Oh no, it might be. This might be the backup generators. I'm not sure. It doesn't tell you. It says find the backup generators. I might have found them. That's another issue that I really do need to bring to light. The person giving you this objective... The person who gives you the objective, that woman, whatever her name is, can't remember. I don't even try and remember for the most part. Has asked me to find the objective. She's the one that gave me the objective. She's the one that told me the damn things were there. And then expects me to find the generators. Now you tell me where they are. I didn't even know they were there. If you hadn't mentioned it, I wouldn't have known. How the hell am I supposed to know where they are? It's another point of this game that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. This might be the secondary objective. I really hope it is, because that'd make blowing all this stuff up a lot more useful. Oh, screw it. What we got here? So yeah, you can use that to get rid of bullets incoming, but again, say it's... Oh, you have to hit it pretty far ahead of time for it to be of any use whatsoever, and I'm right out of them anyway. One thing about pickups in this game, they don't stack. They don't inventory, they replace. Everything replaces. You can't pick up two of the same pickup. You don't get twice as much. It just replaces the one that was originally there, which just doubly makes the pickups somewhat pointless in this game. And did I touch on the fact that the gameplay in this game is tedious to the extreme? Okay, look, let's just... So he takes those things out really easily, but then so does like 2 bullets from my gun. Oh, get out of here. There's no point holding on to these because they do nothing else. Yeah, the gameplay in this is somewhat tedious in the extreme. It's not fast-paced or action-packed. If you try and make it fast-paced and action-packed, you die. All you do is slowly crawl across the map, wiping out everything that you find as it comes. Is slowly, because it will take so many freaking hits. Okay, we're... Oh, yeah, and that's something else that happens on a fairly regular basis. Terrain just vanishes. No good reason for that. It's not like it's blocking my view or anything. Not that. That's not blocking my view or anything. It just vanishes. Should we see it again? There we go. Another third? There we go. Yeah. It's that bad. And also, when it does vanish, it allows the enemies to go inside it. So when you then move, the enemies are actually in the wall. Except that I've hit the edge of the map here, apparently. I've hit the arbitrary invisible barrier that doesn't let me fire, that the enemies can sit in and fire at me from, but I can't shoot them. There's nothing I can do to them, so I just kind of have to leave them and move on. To find the next ridiculous thing that is totally idiotic. What have we got here? Something else. Oh, something out in the woods. Maybe that's... Nope. Nope, not destroyable. Nope, doesn't do anything. Completely pointless. Just random bit of scenery. Of course, how you're supposed to know that that's a random bit of scenery and say this isn't a random bit of scenery, although this is, or anything is or isn't a random bit of scenery, is beyond me because it doesn't tell you. Oh look, we've got the useless power up again. Destroyed. Absolutely owned. Yeah, come on, let's just blast those things. It does not do any good whatsoever. Oh god, no, I'm going to take a hit. You are going to take hits in this game because you simply cannot move out of the way of bullets fast enough because of this silly floaty controls. This is a good reason why you die and why these repairs are so important and yet so rare. Okay, so we've hit another wall here. No, the objective's over here. Apparently, I'm not the greatest at navigating, admittedly. I'll be the first to admit I'm not brilliant. I get lost in games quite often, but this game really is difficult. Oh, look, now what? They're sending reinforcements. Be ready. Let them come. I'm waiting for them. We are indeed. Let's take out this missile turret because that's clearly not part of the reinforcements because it's a fixed emplacement. And the music's picked up. Where are the reinforcements? Hello? I'm looking at my radar. Because the radar is all you have. You don't have a map. Oh no, that's another missile turret. We'll take that down. Some ships. Is this the reinforcements? Or that's dealt with. This can't be. This can't be it. And quite frankly, I do know already. I've been here before. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The reinforcements don't come at you at that point. The reinforcements, such as they are, come at you when you actually get over your objective. So they're not really reinforcements because they would come at you when you get over the objective, no matter how you approach, where from, what you do. You could sit and kill everything else on the map and then they would still pop up because they are designed to be here and nowhere else. They're not reinforcements. Well, that's part of the... Oh, no, I died. I have 1 life left, though. So we can keep on going just for a minute or two more. Not that I want to particularly, but I will at least try and do it. I still haven't found those backup generators. It still has given me no clue as to where they are. But it doesn't matter. You don't have to get the backup generators. They're not part of the mission at all. They're just there. Oh, yeah. There's a complete shitstorm of stuff. A pickup that's useful. Aha! We shall annihilate them all. Except that most of the rockets sunk into the actual big block things there, which don't shoot at me, don't move, are actually not a priority for me to kill, at least not compared to the missiles and ships and tanks and everything else, but no, half of it homes in on that. Which makes the one useful pickup in the game actually a whole lot less useful, because the one time you're really going to want to use it is over objective where there's about 1 million missile turrets. Except that half the shots home in on the objective and not the missile turrets. So yeah. Oh, we're almost dead again anyway, so it's fine. We can almost end it. And then I can give some sort of final roundup on this game. And there we go. They flew in from nowhere. Missiles from... Oh, I have no idea where from. And that's game over. We'll go back to the main menu. Say, look. Upgrades. XP points. Well, if that's not an XP bar at the top of the screen, then what is it? If that's not giving me points for leveling up, then what does? What gives me these points? I get nothing. You're told nothing. There are achievements for the game, if you like achievements. Honestly, if you're that willing to punish yourself, they're basically achievements of complete the first level, complete the second level, complete the third level, etc. Complete easy, complete normal, complete hard, etc. It's awful. There's credits. I'm not even going to go into them. I'm feeling that's what broke the recording last time, honestly. This is Project Root. I do not, under any circumstances, at any price, recommend you buy this game. Even if it's free, don't bother. There are better Flash games for free than this. This is awful. This is like a £7 indie game. I mean, granted, that's not a super expensive price, but that's the mid-range for indie games. They're generally either around the £10 to £15 mark, or the £7 mark, or like the £2-3 mark. This is a £7. This is a mid-range game, and it's awful. It's terrible. It's like it's a beta or an alpha, except it's not. This isn't early access. This isn't a unfinished product. This is it. This is the full, finished, commercial release of this game, and it's terrible. It's so amateurish. It's unbelievable. Stay away. Just do yourself a favour. I'm just annoyed that I spent money on this game because it looked good. But hopefully I've done you the favour of preventing you from also spending money on this game. Because it is not worth it at all. I'm done. I'm done with this game. I've played enough that I can give a full impression of this game. I can now uninstall it, move it into the what a pile of crap folder on my Steam, and forget it exists. Please don't buy it. I'm going, but until next time, I thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, even if the game is terrible. I consider it more of a public service announcement than any sort of impression on this game. But as I say, until next time, goodbye.